What's up, our fellow brethren of the Forge? Welcome to Metal Forge Reviews, where you can get the most and the best out of your metal releases. Today, we are going to talk about the latest sci-fi thrash opus made by Cryptosis, where they threw progressive metal and sci-fi elements into a blender and truly surprised me. If you like metal reviews like these, hit that like and subscribe button so that you never miss a video. Tendrils in the brain, cybernetic surgery and implants. Let's get into why Cryptosis' debut ripped my face off. It's pretty safe to say that thrash metal has not changed much over the last few decades. With the exception of the crossover genre, which is badass by the way, you know what to expect when you check out a thrash metal release. Dutch-based Cryptosis bring a lot of surprises here with their debut. The band are not newcomers to the thrash genre, as they were born under the name Distillator, where they released 2 albums in classic Teutonic thrash flavor. They released a split with Vector before this debut, and that's a fantastic matchup, as Vector has a lot in common with them thematically as sci-fi nerds. Century Media picking up Bionic Swarm as a debut definitely helped the band a ton with reaching for the stars, but their efforts to put out a split with Vector is a fantastic way to reach an already existing sci-fi thrash genre and grease the skids. It's always great to see a band come out the gate swinging, and I think the future is bright for Cryptosis. Fans of Vector will definitely find a lot to love here with the sci-fi focus of the music. Cryptosis are definitely doing their own thing with their version of progressive sci-fi thrash. There's a ton of variety all over Bionic Swarm. The album clocks in around 37 minutes, which makes the record easy to digest and spin countless times. There's plenty of experimentation on this record as well, playing with atmosphere and sense of futuristic oppression along dissonant chord progressions and background synth elements alongside shouting thrash vocals. The incorporation of other instruments such as the mellotron add a ton of symphonic depth and spookiness to the album as well. The music overall feels grandiose and oppressive. Even the guitar lead lines have a sci-fi vibe to them, which create a sense of drama and scale to the record. This isn't sci-fi in the sense of traversing the stars. This is sci-fi in the sense of futuristic imprisonment, dissent, and oppression. Cryptosis have nailed their own approach to this subgenre, and I kept revisiting this record time and time again. Creating a world that sounds like this is highly impressive. I'm gonna give atmosphere and vibe perfect score, 5 out of 5. You try to do better. Bionic Swarm is an album with 0 fat on it and shows remarkable fluidity throughout its 37-minute runtime. The more atmospheric tracks like Prospect of Immortality or Mindscape are a welcome addition to their sonic palette, balancing out more intense moments of the record in songs such as Decipher, Flux, or Divergence. The ambition of this record is steep, and the band was more than capable of crafting something that's fairly unique in the cybernetic thrash genre niche. It's clear that the band was interested in a creative rebirth from their old thrash days, and the choices to include unique background instruments, synths, and samples do a fantastic job of seating the listener in their sci-fi world. The album feels dystopian, and that was clearly deliberate with their orchestration efforts and the songwriting. The riffs themselves are nothing groundbreaking, but the way that they use the composition of the record only adds to the drama of their sci-fi efforts. 4 out of 5 for composition. The elements of dark and dramatic sci-fi are throughout all of the compositions, but also the album artwork and music videos. You can tell that the band clearly had a budget to go full circle with their vision of the visual direction in Bionic Swarm. The album cover is striking, and I love the stark sense of contrast between the bleak grays and the blood-red flesh tones of the harvesting appendages interlocked into the brain of the creatures. The painterly aesthetic is fantastic too, as you can see the brush strokes and the sense of foreground-background is well established with the details on the arm in the front compared to the lack of the rendering in the background figure. Truly awesome stuff, a very horrifying world to be stuck in. Cryptosis was deliberate with the branding and artwork on this album. Through every fine detail, even including the band photo, which it looks like it exists in a spaceship, to their high-budget mini sci-fi films of music videos. Bands take note, in the modern music world, this is how you get noticed. Visual components to the feeling inspired by your music is a great way to bring an audience member into your world and experience the art in multiple forms. Again, nothing groundbreaking or new here, but holy hell is it badass. 4 out of 5 for album artwork and themes. The production and mixing on this record is also very top-notch. The album showcases elements of blistering black metal to dissonant tech death, and it's no easy feat to mix those two things together on the production side. Every atmospheric component has its place in the mix, and nothing sounds too hyper-produced, which is something that a futuristic band can easily fall victim to. The Mellotron elements add a fantastic progressive vibe to the character of the songs, and the production on the album added all sorts of subtle ear candy to help round out the score of cybernetic death metal feel. I wouldn't change a thing about the production. Absolutely fantastic. 5 out of 5. As I'm sitting here post-COVID-19 vaccine, check it out, here's proof. With the little robots running around in my blood, Bill Gates tracking my every thought, I can only think of no other perfect time to identify and dive into Bionic Swarm. They thoroughly thought that any band can redefine themselves and stake their claim into something truly unique in such a specific niche of sci-fi thrash metal. Easily one of the most surprising albums I've heard this year in thrash, and I could easily see it making some top lists by the end of the year. If you're looking for something otherworldly in your thrash metal submerged in dystopian futures, this is the album for you. 4.5 out of 5, Cyber Brains. What did you guys think of the album? Let me know in the comments. As always, go with the gods. I'll see you guys in the Nostromo.